Hello, hello, friends. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. Let's adjust that lighting for you. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to push back a little bit so you can see this table a little more. Gosh, it's always the challenge to get you right where you want to be or right where you need to be. I have this gorgeous set of signatures ready to go for a journal, but I don't have a cover for them, so we're going to make a cover today. And I pulled this out of my junk stash. This was a mailer that was sent to me by Miss Lori Wallace. So Lori, if you're joining today or if you're here on the replay, say hello. It's going to fit this perfectly. Look at that. Look at that. I just had to cut down the top a little bit. So let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. Say hello when you get here, please. Welcome, welcome. If you're here at the Comfiness of Grace visiting, I would love to know that you're here for the first time, or if you're back again, thanks for being here and welcome. I do appreciate you. Let's see. Let's do a little ticker on the bottom. I don't do that very often, but let's do a little reminder to subscribe to the channel and please like this video to help me out. I don't see any comments yet. I hope this is all working right. There's Mary. Good morning, Mary. Thanks for being the first to say hello. All right, let's do some markings. Let's figure this out, right? Let's figure it out. I'm going to go this way so I can clearly see how tall these are. So I'm going to go with the tallest pages. I'm going to leave this here because I may run this. I have my machine sitting right here, my sewing machine. So I'm going to leave this so I can sew through the envelope. I'm going to sew some fabric on it. And then here, I got to leave a bit, right? About the same amount. I do the about, like about the same amount. I don't get too worked up over measurements more than that. Now, I'm going to go to there. Okay, so we're going to cut it there. This is crooked. As you can see, the way I cut it open is very crooked, so we're going to straighten that out. And if I just straighten it out, we'll just make it. That's my hope. That's my hope. So let's start by straightening out this side, and then we'll cut the other side. And I think I'm just going to use a rotary cutter. I got my good old-fashioned quilting ruler here. And let's just get to the point where it is straight. That's all I'm concerned about. I want to keep as much of this length as possible, or this side as possible, but I got to back it up to a point where it's straight. Okay, so there we go. That would just about do it. Did I get through everything? Oh, I sure did. That's good. That's good when my rotary cutter is sharp enough. Okay, that's that. And then here we're going to cut, and then we're going to cover this. It's fabric, and we're going to sew on the machine. This is what we're doing, folks. Okay, this line that I have here, this line that I created with my marker, it sits between two of the markers. So these go every 1/4 inch on the table. These go every 1/4 inch, and this is sitting between two. And I know that's hard for you to see if I go down like this, and you can see what I'm doing here. Here's my marker. It's going to sit in between two of these. So I'm going to go with the longer. I'm going to take it a little bit longer. I'd rather it be a little bit taller than too short. So we're going to line that up right there. Make sure I'm in the right place. I'm pushing down really strongly with my left hand, and I'm going to run that rotary cutter. Whoops. Now it budged on me. It budged, girls. What's everybody up to today? What are you doing? Are you crafting? Are you cleaning up from the holiday? Are you resting from the holiday? That would be a good thing to do. My family, Deanna went back to, bubble envelope. Excuse the crackling noise. Deanna went back to school today. Wow, right? I love having the kids home. He went back to school. Landon is still here. He still has some time off from college, and Chris went back to work today. So we're all back to our normal schedule. Okay, this is what we got. Now, I love the thickness of this, giving us that like cushion for a cover. You could go down to 1. You could if you wanted it to be a little thinner. I could actually do that and then save part of this for another. Okay, a couple of considerations here with this. Let's talk about it. Hey, Callie. Oh, hey, Lynn. Thanks for sprinkling. There's Christy. How are you, Funky Junk Inspiration? Hey, if you guys are not following our sweet friend Christy, head on over to Funky Junk Inspiration on YouTube. She is very active and on Facebook. So go find her there. Hey, Kathy. How are you? Lisa, welcome, welcome. I love putting you guys up. Good morning. Hey, Lori, do you recognize this envelope, my friend? It's from you. This was something you sent me, and I'm going to use it to cover this book. Thanks, Callie. I'm glad I'm back too. Lori is cleaning up and crafting today. Good for you. I got in my craft room for a couple of minutes yesterday, but it didn't last long. You know, I got in here for a couple of minutes, and then, whoops, let's flip this back over. And then the family needed me again. All right, look at Bubble Mailer, $2.69. Let's not waste. This is true junk journaling at its finest. We're gonna use this up. A couple of options. It's an envelope. So we've got this insert, right, option to make this like a pocket this way or a pocket this way if you want to, and you keep both sides. That's one option. The other option is to keep both sides and sew or glue so you have no pockets, but you have double thickness. Option 3, I could cut these in half and have 2 skinnier single layers of bubble for my cover. Which would you do? Option 1 with pockets, option 2 double no pockets, or option 3 separate them and get 2 different covers out of this. Ooh, which would you do? 1, 2, or 3? Oh, Lynn says you got to have pockets. This is gonna. Let me say this. For those of you in the Craft Therapy Club, we just finished my other. I just completed. I've been gratitude journaling every Sunday in there. We created this journal in November last year. And then I've been using all the pages up to gratitude journal in it every Sunday in the group. That's my private club over on Facebook. Now it's done. This book is completed. I need a new book. Now, let me say this. This was my intention, was to use these 2 signatures for my new junk journal, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Let me do a little flip through and show you why. I flippin' love this book. Speaking of flip, I flippin' love this book. I love these pages, but these pages are so gorgeous. I don't think I want to cover these. And the way that I've been gratitude journaling, I need 2 pretty blank sides, one to write on and one to create on. And I think in this book, let's do a quick flip through. Like, I don't want to cover that up. I don't want to cover that up. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to create this book. Look at how beautiful these pages are. And this is a little pocket right here. I'm going to create this book as a regular junk journal to be used for something else. I think I made this a pocket. It's just too beautiful for this. And then I think I purchased this printable, so I think I'll print more of these out and use this theme for my new gratitude journal. Just, it's going to be a different book. I can't bear to use this for a gratitude journal. I do too much coverage. I cover too much of these sides, and this is just too beautiful. It's ridiculous that I say that, but it's the truth. Now, I did not release, I should release the fray. The way this works, so I bought this tassel trim, and thankfully it comes with that white cinching right there that holds the tassel together. But when you've got it in place and you're ready to release it, you just kind of pull on this and it releases the goodness of that tassel right there. See that? How fun is that? So I think I'm going to create this cover. I'm going to create this book, and it will either get sold, I will sell it, anybody interested, or I'll keep it for myself. I don't know. If somebody's really wildly interested. This is a little pocket there. I love this book so much. So isn't that interesting? I see conversations in the journaling groups that I belong to all the time about, okay, you make junk journals. What do you actually do with them? Depending on what the journal looks like, I use it for different things. And I don't want this one to be a gratitude journal, but I do love it so much. I think I'm going to cut this in half. I don't normally do this, but let's do it. I think I'm going to cut this so that we can create 2 journal covers from this. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come this way, and I'm going to use this blade to cut right in that crease. I think I'll be most accurate this way. So I'm just running that blade. Whoops, bubble got in the way. I've never done it this way before. I've always just done a double thick cover, but let's do a single thick. Why not? Then we can use this envelope from Lori twice. How lovely is that? All right, did that cut all the way through? Nope, I missed this little bit right here. What happened? I might have to get a new blade soon. So now I have this. So only one side can get this little lip, right? Both sides aren't going to be able to get it. So I think what I'll do, which way does it most naturally want to lay? I think it wants to go, hang tight, girlfriends. I think it wants to go this way. Oh, my stomach I ate breakfast this morning, but my stomach just be growling on me. Growling. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying. I see lots of suggestions. Kathy says do 2. Double, no pockets. Lynn says the same. Missy says the same. Hey, Janice. How are you, J Will Creations? Everybody go follow my friend J Will Creations on social media. I love that feeling of pulling the string, right? Lynn, isn't that the best? You would love this journal, Lori. Isn't it cute? Isn't it cute? I'm glad you love it. That says a lot to me, and it's very much a compliment that you love it because I love your taste. Lori, I think you are so talented and gifted. So thank you for saying that. All right, I want to cut along this line. So I'm hoping I can do this. Let's see. I want it to be consistent all the way down the line, right? I mean, that's the goal. And I've got that little flap underneath the ruler. It can only be on one side. So I think this will work. Let's see. Let's see. Where did I put my rotary? Come over here, darling. Oh, that means the world to me, Lynn. Look at Lynn's comment. She says, oh, it's puckering because of the bubbles. She says, I have one of Grace's journals. Beautiful journals. Thank you, darling. And I'm loving it. I'm loving on it just the way it is right now. Well, you just enjoy it just the way you want to. Hey, Becca, how are you, friend? Welcome, welcome. I have a little bit of a boo-boo down here. I boo-booed it. I'm a boo-boo. But you know what? In the world of junk journaling, friends, let me just tell you. All good. We can survive this. I promise you. I'm actually going to leave that there. This one I'm going to cut off. I boo-booed it. Let's see. This thing just did not want to survive on here. So I think I'll just cut the whole darn thing off. Let's just get rid of it on both sides. I was going to keep it on one side, but it's fighting me, girls. It's fighting me. So let's do this. I'm lining up. I know you can't see all of this, and I apologize for that. But when I get to the meat of this, when I do the next part with the fabric, I will line this up so that you can see it. Okay, now I got a straight line there, which is good. Let's decide which one will become my cover for this. Now I have 2 of them. Look at it. It's just perfect. Are you kidding me with that? It's just perfection. All right, let's cover it up. We only need 1 though. If this one fits 2. Yep. And I was thinking about something. I have 2 signatures. Soft. It can be a soft cover, soft binding, or you can put something in here to give this binding a little tooth, like a little bit of a structure. So I had cut yesterday. I was working. Oh, that's not it. Where'd they go? Girls, I didn't lose them, did I? Hang tight. Where'd they go? Well, let's just clean up on aisle 5 here for a minute and figure out where did you put them, Grace? I was cutting chipboard yesterday for another cover. Oh no, I lost them. And I had 2 strips of chipboard, and I thought, well, I could use them in here. I was cutting. Now this is too wide, right? But I had 2 skinny strips of chipboard that I thought I could put here to kind of hold that in place, but now they seem to have walked away. Did I? Oh, here they go. They're right next to me. They just happened to fall underneath something else. All right, so I have these two little strips of chipboard. So what I was thinking is, what if I find my middle, right? So I'm going to mark the middle on the inside like this. Oh, open it up, Gracie. I'm going to mark the middle like this. That's my true middle. So what if I take this and I glue it down in the middle? You see how skinny it is? It would give just the tiniest bit of structure, and then I could glue. That would give me, that is a 1/2 inch. That would give me a 1/2 inch between my two signatures. Then I could sew these in on either side of this. It would just give it a little bit of structure in between the two. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I've never done it before. I don't know what made me think. I was just thinking it would be nice to have a little bit of structure, but I still do really like the soft cover. I do love soft covers. Let me see if I have an example close by. Hang tight. Hang tight, girls. I have my big, tall, skinny. I got my tall, skinny that we did in the craft therapy club. Let me grab it. So this one basically has a soft cover. This is another bag under here, like envelope, I mean. And it has no, it's just this underneath. So the only thing providing structure to this binding are there are 3 signatures there. But you see how this is really soft and bendable. If I put this strip in, it's going to give it a little more structure. Just a little. You notice I'm not going to put a big wide one down that I have to punch holes in to put my signatures in. That would give it a lot of structure. So what if I just want a little, like in between, not so soft, not so structured. So we're going to try it. I'm going to glue this down, and then we're going to put our fabric all over on top of this. And then we're going to end up poking our holes and sewing our signatures just on either side of this. Does that make sense? Some say it makes sense. I mean, I have a vision. I don't know how it's going to work. I've never done it before, so let's try it. It's kind of my thought. Let's just be wild and try it. You guys, you down with me, girls? You down with me? Yes, thank you. Oh, Lynn, you're the best. You're like the best cheerleader. She says, please remember to like this video. You're the best. Hey, Wendy Taylor. Did I say hello to you yet? Hey, Diana. How are you? How are you? Okay, Lynn, thank you. She says it makes perfect sense. I'm glad it makes sense. That's my thought. Just a little bit of structure. Let's see how it works out. Let's glue this stinker down. And I debated, glue it under the fabric or glue it over the fabric. I decided under, as you can tell. That glue is almost out. I'm like so close to being done with that glue. All right, we're going to glue this down. So you see, I'm not super particular about structure here. I'm not super particular about measuring because I love junk journals to look homemade. I want them to be very organic and handmade. All right, now we need to cover this. This is actually quite pretty on its own, but we are going to cover it with fabrics. So I'm kind of trying to get through. I have this big thing of fabrics, and I'm going to have it off to the side here. I'm going to start picking some. I basically, for most of the time, use the same color scheme. So I'm just going to start pulling some fabrics, and we're going to try to get full coverage here. I would love to use these fabrics up, and I would like to use it. It will look a little bit quilted. You know, it's going to look a little quilted. I would like it to be somewhat structured. So if I like that, I should tear that off. I probably will. Let's just see what I have here. Let's just do it and see what I have. All of these fabrics kind of match the theme. I love this. I actually might want that on the cover because it's so pretty. So maybe I'd put a swatch on the cover and I put a swatch on the inside. So let's just cut it down and see. Let's go this way. And I'm going to cut a big, or tear, because that's the way I roll. If I can find my, where did I put my scissors now? Oh my gosh, girls, it's never ending with me. Where did it go? Okay, here we go. We'll put a big swatch of this because I really love this one on the front cover. So I'll go on the front, and then we'll put a bit of it back here too. So let's go like, if I go there, and this is plenty to fit over that. We could put these against each other. I probably will put something over this maybe. I don't know, although maybe I don't need to on the inside since they both go. I'm going to go a little shorter on this one. Shorter than this, so that they're not exactly lined up. So something like that. And then let's pull some new fabrics. I would really like to use up what's I got. I have so many. I have this little piece that's left over from that last project that I did. I prefer to use bigger pieces so that there's less work here, less sewing. So I'm going to keep looking. These I think are a little too dark. What I do when I'm not sure is I'm going to grab my signatures. This is an extra. Put that aside. I grab my signatures and I kind of hold it up against, like, what would this look like? Well, I guess that's not too bad. Kind of matches. It would be nice. I think I would like the smaller check than the bigger check. It matches. It's kind of country vibe. It's kind of old, you know, a little bit primitive, but with all the other fabrics, we can make it less so. Okay, which piece do I want? Let's just grab a piece and not be so picky. All right. See how these, I don't want it to look like 4 square blocks that are all the same. So I want to cut these so that, is this wide enough to go this way? No, not quite. It's a little bit short for that. So if I go this direction, I'm just going to tear it. It already has a little tear there. So let's tear it and then see. Maybe like, you know, I don't want to lose this juxtaposition there. So maybe I would go like that. Yes. And then I need one more piece down here. This looks like it's about the right size. Oh, almost, not quite. Well, what if I went like this? That would work. So if I glue them down, now I'm so frugal, I do consider this. Okay. What's underneath that I'm losing? There's nothing really, almost anything under there that I'm losing. There's just a little bit here. Like if this had gone all the way down, I would definitely cut that because I don't want to lose any fabrics, right? But if I glue those down like that, I think I like that. I think I like the way that looks. I may pull this a little further because I have the extra here. And in fact, I really love this fray. So maybe I could do the fray going this way and have that kind of live as part of the design. So go this way with it. And I love that fray so much. Maybe I want that to be more prominent. Let's see. Do I like it like that? I like it like that. You know that song? I think I like the fray better than I like this. So what if I went like that? I like it. I know it doesn't look like much. It doesn't look like much. I know this, girls. I know this. We just need to have full coverage. And then I'm going to come around and cut. Sew and cut. Does that make sense? That's what we're doing. So this is the layering I like. So this is got to get glued down first, second, third, fourth. See? 1, 2, 3, 4 is how we're going to glue it down. So I got to move these off. Glue this down first. And this will get cut off. So I can go all the way up to the edge there. And I'm going to glue that down. I should have ironed that, but I didn't. You know how I am. Thanks, Mary. Mary says those colors are great. Put the dark under the other two. I like the dark prominent though, Kelly. It's okay, right? Like we all have a different way of looking at it. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate that. Go, Gracie, go. I'm tapping my toe and snapping my fingers. Let's make a song. I think I would get in trouble though. You can't do that on these kinds of platforms, can you? I don't think they like it, girls, when we do our singing and dancing. Unfortunately. Okay, what is the best glue? What glue would you use? This glue I love, but I think it would leave markings on my fabric, so I'm not going to use it. As much as I like it. This is better for fabric, so let's use it. I'm going to be sewing. Keep in mind, we are going to be sewing some. This is almost out, so let's see if we can use it up. We're going to tack it down with this. We don't need to have full, like, you know, exhaustive use of the, oh, it is empty. Come on, do you want to come out? I see just a little bit moving in there. I'm so frugal, girls. I think it's gone. We're throwing it out. We're throwing it out, girls. The day has finally arisen. Or that bottle. I'm not monkeying with it anymore. Now this has Fabri-Tac in it. I don't know if it'll come out. I've been monkeying with this one too for too long. Let's see if we can get some to come out. My days of, whoa, and now it like blew up. My days of messing with these glues, I'm done. I'm done. Once they're gone, they're gone. I'm not doing it no more. Look at my little cone is full of luscious glue that just got stuck in there over time. Come on now. What a waste. Oh my goodness. I'm laughing because I have a friend locally. She's not Catholic. Who's Catholic out there? Who are the other Catholic girls? I'm a Catholic girl. I love you just the same if you're not. So it's not, I'm just, the story I'm going to tell may make you laugh. But my girlfriend who is not Catholic, she's Lutheran. This was a long time ago. We got a new priest at our parish. And, you know, we all got together. We get together, you know, occasionally. Not like, it's not like every week, but every month or a couple of months we get together. And we were talking about like kind of happenings in town, like, oh, that store closed and this happened. We're kind of a small town, so these things are big news to us. Like when a store closes, it's a big deal. When a store comes in, big deal. Like, whoa, what store came in? I want to know. I want to go there. We were talking about getting a new priest. And I heard her say from across the room, and there were kind of a couple of conversations going on with a group of us. And I heard her say, who are you talking about? She said, are you talking about Father What-A-Waste? I said, what do you call him? She said, oh yeah, Father What-A-Waste. He's so cute. I laughed so hard. I'd never heard anybody say that. She said, what a waste that he's a priest. He's so cute. Oh my goodness. You have to take it in good fun, right? Like it was meant in good fun. Like she just thinks he's really handsome. So she called that Father What-A-Waste. Now, if I line this up just right, I'm not going to have to cut that edge. So let's see if I can do that. It's really kind of stuck on there now. And then here, I need to make sure I have something to cut. I don't want white in my book, so I have to pull this up enough so that what's left in my cover is not, I don't want the selvage. I should have gone up a little higher, and it's already starting to settle in. That was a lot of glue. We're stretching and pulling, and it's just going to be enough to tack it down so that I can, we're going to do a little sewing to hold that in place. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's be good. Now we said this one's going to be number 2, right? I'm going to try not to stretch this one because now it's kind of tugging on my envelope. I want to comfortably go over the edges so I can cut, but now that I'm not going to end up cutting that one, so I'm going to let this one ride just at that edge. So I don't have to cut it, but it needs to sufficiently cover the plastic, right? We don't want the plastic hanging out. Callie, you're Catholic. What do you think about that, Father What-A-Waste? Hi, Ruth. How are you? Ruth says she's Catholic. Lynn's Catholic. Lynn's Catholic. Yeah, I'm using Fabri-Tac. She says, what are you using instead? I'm gonna use the Fabri-Tac to get this. And actually, now that that's down, we know this is gonna cover up to just beyond here. I think I'll just put this down on the plastic. There's just a little left, girls. We're gonna empty too. What do you guys, these bottles, these Baker bottles, what are they called? I don't remember. I bought them a long time ago to do the glue with the metal tip because everybody, you know, loved that. I'm not loving it. I don't think I'll do this again with this glue. Like, do you end up throwing these out? Because the glue, it's not coming out. This was my problem with this. The glue dried out in there, and now it's not coming out. Oh, that fit all the way in there. That worked out pretty good. I can jam that all the way up in there. Like, I'm trying to use up every bit of glue, yeah? 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 It's on Norwegian. Minnesotans would get that. Yeah? Isn't that what they do? Isn't that a Norwegian thing? I'm Italian, so don't ask me. I just live around a lot of Norwegians. And I think that's kind of a, they say ofta, and they say, it's like that movie Fargo. That vernacular, that dialect that they have. I don't know what to do with that bottle. It's so sticky on the inside. I don't know that I'd be able to clean it out. What do I do, girls? How do you handle it? I suppose I could put acetate in it enough to loosen that glue, and maybe I could clean it out that way, but is it worth the effort? Because that sounds like a lot of effort to me. Now, most important for me, line up this edge and then have this salvage over the edge so I can cut it off. That's what I absolutely have to do. Now, I don't want it to fall into the glue, so I'm trying to be careful here. All right, we need good coverage here. We're covering the plastic. Cover it, Gracie. And then we're going to let it fall. I don't want to stretch it ideally. I don't want to stretch it. Oh, I just put my finger in glue. And then we're just going to let it fall and overlap here, coverage here. I got to pull it this direction just a tish, and enough of that salvage hanging over the edge so I can cut it off once this is down. So I said 1, 2, next is 3. That was this guy, wasn't it? I'm already confused. That's 4. I think 3 was this one. And I kind of like the bold. Oh, I wanted this edge, this ruffled edge on here like that. Because I kind of like it. I kind of like it looking like that. In fact, I could go all the way, but I don't want to go all the way. I kind of want to make sure this is going to have to come fit here in the end. So I need to make sure this is in a place where it's going to work. And this will end up getting cut off just like the salvage. But that, I like that positioning. So I could take some glue and just get it down here. I don't think there's any left in this bottle. Tell me what to do with the bottle, girls. I mean, can this be salvaged? How do I do it? It's a mess right now. Look at that gunky glue on there. Like, ugh. This glue is a little frustrating, I'm not going to lie. And this thing, oh, now it's stuck to the napkin. Again, full of glue. It's so gunky and stringy. I can't let it dry completely in there. Oh, I forgot. I got to put this down. Oh, Gracie, get it together. This, like that. Can I salvage the jar? Someone tell me. I would love to, because then they're not cheap, right? There's Sugar Bell. Becca, you're right. He's a thorn bird. He's a thorn bird. He's not a thorn bird, right? Hopefully he's not a thorn bird. Like, for real, he's not. I see what you're saying, that he's handsome. But hopefully he hasn't turned into a true thorn bird. That movie. I saw that when I was a kid. I mean, did that movie come out in the 70s? I was young. All right. I think I have another. Oh, do I have another bottle of that stuff to use up? Hold on, girls. I got to get another fabric type of glue, and I think I have another bottle in my stash here. Hold on. I'm looking for it. Maybe I don't. I don't. That was it. I need fabric glue. It's not like I can live without it, right? I just am not a huge fan of the Fabri-Tac in this bottle. And I'm not a huge fan of the really big bottle because it dries out too fast for me. So I need to invest in smaller bottles. Here, I have this. This will work for my fabric. This sometimes, in my experience, this sometimes does leave marks on my fabric, which I don't love. So not ideal. Oh, this one's not even open yet. I don't love the smell of this one. I think it's really strong smelling, but I'm going to use it because I have it. And then I think in the future, I got to make a choice. I'm either going to use, oh, that is all sticky and gross now. I'm either going to use Fabri-Tac or I'm going to use Beacon. I have to have one small bottle of one or the other is what I'm going to stick to, because I don't use the glue fast enough. So it dries out on me and then I have all this trouble with it. So I'm going to buy one small bottle and that's what I'm going to have on hand. There's like another plastic covering there. I can't, let me in. Let me in. Not by the hair of your chinny chin chin. I need that to come off so I can use the darn glue. Getting rough with the girls. So one or the other, if you had to choose. Do you guys use both? Or do you choose? Which one do you use? Now, this does have a hole in it already. Do you use Beacon or do you use Fabri-Tac or Fabri-Fix for your journaling? Now see, this is flowing quick and nice. Quick and nice. That's what we need. I don't need a ton of glue here. Remember, I am going to be sewing. I just need it to stay in place. Okay, I need, since I don't know how far to go if I'm gluing on here, I'm going to put the glue actually on the fabric. So I make sure I have the coverage I need. And not go over and have like gooey glue sticking out. There. See, when I do that, this glue leaves marks in my experience. We're going to spread it a little. So see how it's drying in a straight, it looks like you can see the lines that I made. That's my experience with this glue. That's why I think Fabri-Tac is better. I just need to buy smaller bottles. See that little curl right there? You better glue it down. I don't think I like the curl. I mean, you could leave it. You do you, girl. There. One more piece. Now, I didn't think this through all the way. You're going to find out why here in a minute. All right, this is just going to make it in terms of coverage. Like, look, we're not going to have a lot of extra there. So I better be super careful. I really need to focus on this, and then I'm just going to have just enough to cut on those other two edges. Like that. So I'm going to put the glue along the line of this. And along the line of this. Oh, this doesn't feel too glued down under here. And then, I'm going to squeeze and I'm pushing it into the plastic to try to minimize the lines, but you're better off using a spoon or, you know, if you have, can't find my words. Can't find them, girls. I can't find them. Spatula tool. You can use one of these palette knives to spread it out so it's not, you know, you can avoid trying to have those lines on your fabric. Okay, let's layer down. This is going to go right on the edge here. I got to have enough so that it goes over the edge so I can cut that, which it does. Okay, this is going to get sewn, so no worries about that. No one's told me about my bottle yet. Can I salvage my bottle, my Sugar Belle? Now that it's empty of the glue, why are you not sticking? Just stay down there, sir. Stop messing with me. I'm Catholic, belong to a non-denominational church. You do, Lori. That's interesting. Either or glue. I'm using Beacon right now, but I don't like it. However, I am too frugal, so I'm going to use it up. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's good too. Lynn, you bring up a good point. If you can find one glue that you can use for everything instead of having 5 different types of glue, that is there's a huge benefit to that. First of all, the space on your table. Second of all, the management of using up all the glue before it dries. It's just simpler. It's just simpler. They aren't the same. They aren't the same. This one does leave marks. And this is my experience anyway, Ruth. This one stinks a lot more than Fabri-Tac or Fabrifix. And it does sometimes leave wet marks on my fabric, where Fabri-Tac, they don't do that. Okay, I would like to cut these before I put the other one down so that I can see the edge of my envelope. So see this? I want to cut that before I put the envelope down. I'm going to get a nice big scissor to do that with. I mean, I could use my rotary cutter. Well, I could use the rotary cutter. Why don't we do it? I'm not even going to use a ruler. Let's put this away. Make your mind up, Gracie. I'm in one of those modes. Girls, my left wrist is hurting. Bad, bad, bad. Bad for a crafter, right? That's bad. No bueno. That's bad news for us girls who are using our hands all the time. I don't know what I did, if I slept wrong on it or what. I'm going to be super slow and careful here. Even if I have to go through it a couple of times. I do not want to cut it too short. Did I get it all? Oh, there's a little spot right there. I got most of it. Little spot right there. I'm just going to use a scissor for. I'm not going to. Oh, these aren't very nice scissors. I thought I'll grab a little scissor, but they're a little bit weak. They're a little all right. There we go. I got through most of it. I am going to put a stitch around the edges here to hold this all in place. There we go. In the end, but I'm going to glue the other side on first. Now, here's the thing I have to decide. Do I also want to do a stitch here and here? Here's the thing. I can only do it on one side or the other, that kind of stitching, right? Because I've already got it down on my base. If I stitch here, 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 and then here, now, those stitches will show through this side, but that would be okay because I'm going to cover with more fabric. But then I will not be able to do stitch here, here, or it's going to show through all the way on the back here. So I have to decide. I think I would rather, this is the inside. So I'd rather have the nicer stitches show on the outside. And then if the inside, the stitches doesn't match, that wouldn't bother me so much. So if you do quilting, you know, this order isn't right for like a true quilting, but it's okay. I'm using up scraps of fabric. This is junk journaling. We can do things differently. It doesn't have to be so precise, right? Or at least I do. To me, it's why I stopped quilting. For the precision stresses me out, man. I like to be willy-nilly. I like to be very relaxed about this stuff. Not worry about it. This can get used for something else. Okay, so I don't know, rotary cutter or scissor, do whatever you can. Oh, that did not stick. I'm going to put a little more glue there. Let's do the rotary cutter on this one. Yeah, I think I will use a zigzag. It'll be cute, right? I got to get the front cover done first, though. So much for sharp. I think I have one nick in my blade because it's always like it cuts and then it doesn't cut. There we go. All right, inside is done. It's so cute. This is not sticking. Let's put a little more glue there. I'm just gonna grab this guy. I've found that this glue is really good, and I actually do really like the small bottle. It has a brush tip on this end and a fine tip on this end. So I've been liking, I have a couple of these different Tombos, and I really have been liking them. And those are actually really old. I've had those for a long time. I forgot I had them. and wasn't using them. And then I started using them, like, I cannot believe this glue is still working. I mean, these are years old and they're still fresh and good. So fresh and so clean. For the front, what if you just tack the pieces together and glue the glue them together and stitch them separately and then glue it all on? Yes, that's a really good idea, Lisa. You know what I could do? Crazy quilt design. Linda, you ain't kidding, girl. Take your watch off. Oh, why do you think it's the watch? I've had this watch on for, oh my gosh, years, and I've never had trouble. Use hot water. Callie says she answered about the bottle. Put hot water in there. I'm going to try it. I really want to salvage it. And when I do salvage it, you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to put this glue in there. That's what I'm going to do, girls. Thank you, Callie, for answering me. Okay, so Lisa's suggesting instead of, and she's right, instead of tacking these down onto the plastic envelope, tack them to each other, take them to the machine, sew the stitching I want to show. Then I'll be able, I could stitch these in these junctures the way I want to, put this together separately, and then glue the whole thing down and then just do the stitching around. She's absolutely right about that. It's a really good idea. You know what I could do to keep myself on track is to use a piece of paper. I wonder if I have. Hold on, girls. I'm just wondering something. Can you hear me rolling around back here? I'm just wondering if a standard like 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. No, this is like, no, that's not regular. Yeah, that is a regular piece of paper. So a regular piece of paper is too small, but if I have all sorts of stuff that's that big. So I have these calendar pages from my big calendar for my office. I could cut this to the same size and then use this as my base, right? You with me? You follow what I'm laying down here? So if I know it feels a little cumbersome, but she's right. If I want to get the stitching the way I want it, I could cut that there. And then I'd have this layer of paper in there, but who cares? Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know that. I cut it there. And then I'll have a base that is the same size as my envelope. So I can keep track of what I'm doing. So I'm going to cut it there. I mean, how many cutters do you have? I've pulled out multiples now. You guys, this travesty, Callie, for you especially because you're down there in New Orleans, is it breaking your heart? Are you like me? I think I'm like a true empathetic person, like an empath. I said that to my husband recently. He's like, what the heck does that mean? I said, I'm a true empath. I like when people suffer, I suffer just for the fact that I'm so sad for them that if you're like that, you understand what I mean, even if you don't know that term. And if you have like a social work or psychology background, add more to this because, this is just what I've observed from reading. I'm not a professional at this, but the term empath, like empathy, just take off the Y, empath, like that being a type of person. I am an empath. When people suffer, I suffer. Even if I have no idea who they are, I still just get so sad for them. Like truly sad, like it can get me down because I have such strong feelings of empathy. I think that's called an empath. So I have that about me and I feel so sad, and, especially when they start to reveal the details of the people who are suffering. I just think those poor families who are dealing with that, who woke up in the morning to find out that their family was a victim of this, or their loved one or their friend or classmate or whatever the case may be. It just breaks my heart. I take this stuff super seriously. I mean, some of you already know that about me because you hang out with me a lot. All right, let's see. So now I can use this. Let's turn it this way so it doesn't look so busy in your eye. but I can use this as my base, like my template for my cover, so that I know I can, and then I can bring this to the machine, sew it the way I want to, and then sandwich them together. So smart. Lisa was the one. I kind of, oh, not have a, okay, I think that way you would have stitches on both sides where you want it, but not have it crazy. You are so right. I know, Linda, isn't it so sad? Yeah, I am talking about the stuff that happened on Bourbon Street. I am. Oh, Lisa, girl, I'm sending you hearts. Girl, I'm going to hug you. I'm virtually hugging you. Is that a thing? If it's a thing, I'm doing that for you. Okay, so this is going to be my cover. This is the inside, and I think I want this on the back, because that when this is in here like this, I don't mind that peeking out, but the bulk of that really dark one I'll have on the back. And I can always glue something or do something on there to decorate it, right? So this is the inside of my book. Now the outside of my book, this is the front right here. And that is the top. Okay, so that's how I have to glue it down. Do I want this in the front of like that? I kind of do. I kind of love this one. I don't know. Let's get, I'm going to dig through a little bit more of my, my fabrics. I don't think I'm going to use another swatch of this. It's too dark, too bold. I'm glad I used up a piece. I've had this fabric forever and a day. I must have bought a ton of it. I had blues and I had these reds, and I did a fall project and I had so much of it. It just lasted me forever. I really do like this one too. This is that one I just used. This is a Tim Holtz, I think. I got it from my local shop. I do really like this one. So do I want, it's so soft and so pretty, and it matches this. Actually, this one's so busy. Maybe this one should go toward the back and just make an appearance on the front, but not too much. This I used on the inside cover, so I could use a swatch of this maybe on the front. Let's do this, Gracie. Let's do this, and I'm going to tear this like right, my wrist, my poor wrist, right there. I've had that one for a long time too. So if this goes here, and this goes here, that's not enough of this one. I really love this one. I have a ton of this because I just bought it. I just bought it and I just used it for one thing. Oh, here's a bigger swatch of it, a wider one. We're throwing that out the window. I really would like this to be the majority of the front. I think it's just so beautiful. Okay, and then we can do maybe, let's see, this really pretty. Maybe put this. This is more feminine. This is more modern, right? And this is more feminine. So maybe I'll put a swatch of this down here. Let's put these aside so I can focus. Yeah, kind of like that. And then maybe this. I don't think I want that on the front. I have so many fabrics. I don't have to use the same ones over and over again. I have so many of them. That one, oh, that's better. I was like, that color isn't right. I like this color. That's very yellow compared to these two, but I actually don't mind the combo. Perhaps it's just about finding the right combination, right? So maybe this can go down here. We'll see. I really like this one because it just feels so feminine to me. Now we have, if we do this, we're going to have more than 4 pieces. And that's not a problem. It's just something to think about, right? Like, is that what you want? Because this is going to be my front cover. Don't think I want that. I think I want that. Then something to cover this. Is that what I want to do? Shout out suggestions if you got them. No, I'm going to keep digging in my pile here. Oh, I have some really pretty florals. I'm going to look for some really soft colors. Hang tight, girls. Maybe I could even do just a regular linen and not, that way I can decorate the front and not have a whole lot competing with whatever I put on the cover. This is much thinner. These are much more like a canvas. They're really thick swatches. So I don't know that I want to use those. Here's a piece of this one. These are much too thick, even though they're plain. This is more like what I'm talking about. And actually, Gracie, maybe I would do, oh, I love the fringe showing. Big fan of the fringe. Kind of like, I could keep my fringe hanging off the edge there. And then maybe, I don't have enough of this. I was thinking maybe I could get this to go, and then I'm going to be missing some here. If this were long enough, I could just do one big swatch of something here. Is this one long enough to cover? Almost. I think I don't want that on the front, to be honest with you, because I feel like it's just too bold. Okay, Gracie. This is this, but it's a bigger piece, you see? So maybe I should use the bigger piece. I love doing this. I find this super relaxing, right? I don't know if you do. If this whole process, it's like kind of like a crossword puzzle, but a really fun, pretty one. And I love the process of it. I hope it's not too painstaking for you. I find it fascinating. I even love watching people do this because I feel like I learn something watching other people's thought process when they do something like this. Now, I kind of like that. And then what do I do back here, girls? Maybe this piece can cover. I'm still missing something right there, but that's okay. We can piece that together. I like this. I do. I like it. I like it. Because remember, this is my front. The only thing is, this is the salvage for this. So it's like, see how like this is all frayed, which I think is so beautiful. And then this is not at all. That is, see the salvage? You can see that line. That is holding it all together. So maybe I don't want that to be so prominent. I could cut this piece down even further because this covers all of that. But this is my favorite piece. Truthfully, it's my favorite. But what if I did cut it so that it was like that? That might be okay. I'm not going to overthink it. Although this is my favorite fabric. Let's tear. I'm not going to like beat myself up over these decisions. Then what I actually could do, I put this here. It's not big enough to cover that. It is just big enough to cover that. It's actually makes me a little nervous relying on that. This one is big enough to cover that. Then I actually could come across this with a band of ribbon or something that could be my tie. And if you didn't love these juxtapositions here, you could cover them up with, let's see, let me grab, where are my wide bands of fabric. Hold on, girls. I gotta see what I do with them. I have a couple of different bins that have fabric and trim in them, so I end up having to look through a couple of them just because I have enough stash that's what happens. So I'm looking fancy fabric and fabric flowers. See if there's something in here. No, not here. Sorry as I dig around. Where did I put them, girls? I'm looking. I'm so sorry. I'm not. I decide as I create, so I'm not really good at pulling out everything all the time. Okay. What if I took, oh my gosh, a trim, like a wide trim. Or either, you know, a trim for the sake of trim, like for the sake of a pretty trim to go down the middle of this. Like how pretty would that be? Or to extend over the edge so that it could become your tie. I really love this like this. I could still use a tie, but I think I really like this like this. So I'm going to cut this. So see how it's going to cover up all of these joints in the middle if you don't love them, or if they, like, you know, they're not doing it for you. So I'm going to cut this. We can use that in the middle. It's so beautiful. A doily would be great, Ruth. That's a really good suggestion. Let me check those. Is it a brick wall on fabric? What? Just crossed into North Carolina, making good time. Oh, be safe, my darling. Be safe, Ruth. Yeah, I am too, Callie. She said she's afraid of those, that there may be things planted. Oh, Callie, I was thinking about that this morning. They were interviewing some people on the news, and some people were like, yeah, I'm not going. And some people were like, yeah, I'm still going to the Sugar Bowl. And I understand both sides of it. I have no, I think personally, I would be like, yeah, we're not doing that. Especially if we were supposed to take the kids, I'd be like, yeah, no, we're not going. Even if there were just a slight chance that something might happen. But I understand the people, and I admire the people that say, heck, I'm not missing it. Heck no, I'm not missing it. Linda Glenham, good point. Even the family of the bad guy, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Cut the yellow, and then you can put it in the upper left corner. Cut the yellow. What yellow? This one. And then put it up there. I have another piece of that. It would be more matchy, right? If this were up here. Good idea. Good idea, Lisa. I love this band in the middle, right? It's so feminine and pretty. So then I just have to decide, do I like what's on top and what's underneath? Like, would I rather have this on top? I told you I didn't like that selvage, so probably not. I probably have to go like that. And then this is just one really big wide swatch. And I think I'm okay with this being on top. And then here, I think I'll have that on top just the way it is. Okay, this is going to go on last. But let's get this stuff glued down and then cut the edges. I don't really want to cut these edges because they're frayed so beautifully. Okay, hold on, Grace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can anybody remember that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to slide these just the way they are over to the side. I'm going to glue this one down, then that one, and then we'll take it from there. All righty then. Actually, because I'm going to be sewing, it is okay to do the glue stick, girls. We're going to have a lot of sewing through this, so I think it's going to stick just fine. And since I have this paper underneath as my template, it's okay to use your glue stick. It's going to be and this is a permanent glue stick, so it's, you know, helping. And it's going to, like, even if you had a temporary glue stick, it would temporarily tack down your fabric so that, I'm looking for my glue book, my little book that I use to glue things with. It's just another calendar paper. Let's just do this. I want to go off the edge here. I'm going over my fabric edge just a little bit. Now, I would love for this fray to be right on the edge, okay? Because I don't want to cut that. I like the frayed edge. Oh, did I do that with this one? I did it well enough. I think it'll be fine. I should probably just pull. Oh, where'd you come from? I'm just going to pull this. Oh, it's really kind of stuck on there. I just want it over to the left just a tish. Even if I have a little crinkle right there, I'm okay with it. And then when I glue this one down, I want to glue it so that's at the same edge. That's kind of landing in the same, oh, wrong way. It's landing in the same place. So that these edges are even though they're two pieces of fabric, we want them as even as possible. This whole thing with the paper is going to get glued down on top of my, did I do that right? Did I have that one that way? I have a feeling this was over there. Wasn't it like this? What am I doing to myself, girls? I have the selvage was over on the left, wasn't it? Like that. All right, so that was 1, 2. Oh, what did I do, girls? This one's down next. 3. This one's going to go here. And this one I will have to cut, won't I? No, not if I go like this and I have that rough edge there. I can hang it just over the edge of the paper. And I don't want to cover that much of this, so I got to go down as far as I can to cover that selvage. Like there. Get that stuck in place and make sure. Oh, whoa, that's way too high. Whoa, whoa, girls. Whoa, whoa. Get it together, Gracie. I got to turn it so I can see what I'm doing here. I want to be just on that and just a bit this way. Listen, when you're doing this, you probably, I mean, you could be at home going, oh, don't do that. Like, oh, I'm not sure I like it like that. I do it all the time when I watch people. Like, I kind of like what you're doing overall, but I would have done this instead. That's all good, right? Hang out with creators, watch what they do, be inspired by what they do, and then go do it on your own and put your own little twist, your own little take on this, your own little version of it. That's the idea. That's why we share, is so that you can be inspired by it and then go create your own unique version of what we're doing. Because I'm sure you're at home going, oh man, I wouldn't have done that, or I would have put it differently on there. And that's totally cool. It's all right. Doesn't bother me at all. Okay, this one, I forget how far we were going to put it. This one is going to go on last, and it's definitely going here. I don't need it to be this big, so I'll cut that down before I glue it. And then this one, I think, okay, where's my center? Like, let's think about that for a minute, because I don't want to end this fabric right on the center. I want to go, I want, looking at it this way, I want this fabric to go beyond the center. I don't want it to land right on the center of the cover. So that's what I'm thinking. Because it would just, having the pressure of the fold would put pressure on that edge, and it might poke up eventually on you, which would be, unpleasant, not what you want. I'm going to end up cutting this, so it doesn't matter if I extend below the paper. But on this side, I'm liking these frayed edges on this side, where's that other piece? There it is. If I'm going to put this down, it would be nice to have a frayed edge on this side too. So let's fray this edge. Lots of little errand fabrics going everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down. It's going to get cut on the bottom, but this side I'm going to try to match up the frayed edge like that. And I could have cut that all off, but I'm not. It's there now. It's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Especially when you got lots of fabrics. It's like, ah, it's all right. Yeah, it's extra. Look at it this way. It's adding extra cushion. A little extra softness to my cover. There. And then one last piece right here. Where'd you go? Here. This one we can cut down. Okay, we can cut it down to... Well, look at it. Really only needs to be a strip. Much narrower strip. Then I can save that for something else. So like that. And then how far down do we want it to go? I actually kind of like it the way it is. Because then we're going to end up with this. Going here. No, I don't want that hanging out the bottom there. So it doesn't matter what I cut off here. It's going to get covered with the lace. I think I'll just snip off a square of it. Just enough so that it's not poking through the lace. See? Like that. Okay. So this one can get glued down. And I think what I'm going to do on this one is put the glue on the fabric itself. My son, I can hear him in the kitchen. He's making more food. The child eats. The child can eat. He's eating again, girls. All right, this side we're not cutting either of these edges. I'm not cutting this edge and I'm not cutting this edge, the top and this sides, but I do want to cover the paper. Like that. I like it. I like it. Okay, now we're going to glue this down. And remember, I'm not cutting this edge. So I need a straight... I need it to be straighter than it is. Let's go like this. And it doesn't, I don't need it to be perfect, but I need it to be a little better than what it is showing as. So, I've got a pen with it. I don't need a pen. I just need the ruler. Thank you very much. Okay. The other one I'm going to cut with the fabric. No, I'm not. That edge is not going to get cut either. So I guess I got to come down here and cut it just right, which is going to be where? It's going to be right there. Thanks for hanging out with me, girls, while I'm creating. I appreciate you. Oh, that's a pretty little swatch to put somewhere. Anybody else creating today? Lori said she's organizing and crafting. She's getting to do both today. What about all you girls? Okay, where's my top? That wasn't my top. That's the back. We're going this way. And it only matters because I have a scallop only on one side of this lace. So I need to, whichever way I want it. Do I want the scallop up or the scallop down? I think I like the scallop down. So I'm going to glue that, tack that down with the glue, and then I can do some sewing. So do I want to sew these edges? I think I do. I don't have to worry about anything in the center, but I am going to put a little stitch down these before I glue down that lace and before I glue. Well, I have to cut this off, right? We got to get that off. That's the only side that I'm cutting. And then we'll be able to glue this down. Actually, I wonder if I would be able to pull this. Do you think it'll work? Do I dare? I'm not going to do it, because if I pulled on it, I'm going to cut it a little bit big so that I can fray these edges of fabric a little bit so they look like the others. I don't want it to be super uber straight, right? Like I need it to mimic what we have going on the other edges. So if I cut it a little bit long, then I can pull on those edges of this side and fray them up a little bit. I had a tiny little pair of scissors here. Let's just cut that off. And it being frayed up is a good thing to me. I like it that way. I like it. I like it. Okay, so that will eventually fray. I'm not going to worry about it too much, but let's get some stitches on everything that's going to be shown. You know, the stuff that's behind the lace isn't going to matter. I'm going to put a few of these things away so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to pull this machine. Sewing machine right here. It's a little dusty. I haven't used it in a bit. I haven't used it in a minute or two. All right, now this is, I know, not ideal. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to try to get it to a point where you can see some of what I'm doing. And it's just going to be we're just going to do a quick stitch. We're not going to, is this plugged in? It is not. I don't know. Do you guys feel like I'm slow at this? I watch people do their covers, and this one woman that I watch, her videos are always speeded up. So, you know, I'm like, wow, you know, you watch this video and it takes her like 4 minutes to put a cover together. Here I am an hour later, still working on it, right? And it just is what it is. You know, it's not a sped up video. You're watching the whole darn process and getting to chat with me as we go. But sometimes I think, wow, is this like painfully slow? Are you quicker at this than I am? You might be. You might be. All right, I got a quick stitch there. I'm going to do a quick stitch here. And actually, I think I will do a zigzag here. Where's my other thread? There they both are. Gonna do, because I like the look of the variety of stitches. That is not a ziggy zag. You misbehaving machine. You misbehaving machine. All right. So now this was Lisa's point. I can sew these stitches, and because I did this on a template paper, not on the actual cover, the backside stitch is not going to show on the other side of the cover, which is nice, right? I can have the stitches that I want on both sides. All right, I'm coming to the edge here, and I'm thinking, do I want to faux stitch my edges, or do I want to really stitch my edges? Here's what I mean. I'm at the edge. I could turn this and then do all the way around, and that would be a faux stitching around the edge, meaning it's not really holding anything in place, it's just decorative. But I really do want these stitches that I put all the way around the edge of this to hold the sandwich together of the back to the other part that we already did. Let me grab it and show you. Those edge stitches that I do, I want them holding these two things together. So I don't want it to be fake. I want it to be a real stitching holding things together. Okay, so I've got those stitches in place. Let's see about this lace trim in the middle. That's my back. This is my front. This is going in the middle. And actually, I think I am going to stitch this too. I'm going to tack it down with some glue, but I'm also going to stitch it on this so it holds in place. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. The meatiest parts, the parts that have the most fabric, I'm going to tack this down. I'm going to end up stitching this edge, so I don't have to so much worry about gluing that side. But I do want this edge to be glued down nicely. So I'm going to put a nice thick. I'm really pushing down hard on this to get a lot of glue on that lace. Like, it's a lot. Do you see it like remaining on the paper? It's raised up there. Okay, now this is going to go here. I didn't put any glue on this, so I can run this right through my machine and not worry about the glue mucking up my needle. The glue is all down here. So I'm going to run it through the machine and I'm going to get a stitch along that line. Whoa, I got glue. Whoa, girls. Gracie's got glue on her hands. Did you see my message asking about my December Crafted Challenge picks? No, I didn't see your message. You would, Kelly, any of the photos that are under the Crafted Challenge post, those are the ones that get included in the giveaway. They have to be in the post, in the Crafted, underneath, like as a comment in the Crafted Challenge post. I'll look at it again, and if they're there and I missed them, I'll add those entries for February so that you don't miss out. No, this is not a quick craft. I like what you said there. She said, you can't hurry beautiful. My sister used to say, that's so funny that you say that. My sister, when I was little, and my oldest sister, Linda, was in charge of getting my sister, the other younger sister and me, she would have to get us showered and dressed. That was one part of her job, to help my mom. And she would French braid our hair and it would hurt. She would pull on our head so hard and she would say, it hurts to be beautiful. So you just reminded me of that, Lid. That's actually, at the time it wasn't a good memory, but now it is. Now it is when I think back. I have a little bit of a, there we go. I'm just going to take it slow. I don't want this ruffling. I just want to tack it down. And I'm going to grab my pointy tool so I can help this fabric along. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so pretty. Yeah, so what Lynn said, this is not a process you can rush. Those quick videos are a little bit deceiving because they make it look really fast. It makes me feel like I should be faster at this. Don't let it trick you. When you are looking at buying, and I always remind you, when you're looking at buying somebody's handmade books, remember how much time and energy, material has gone into making these books. They are not a quick craft, like she said. We're not mass making these. Each one of these is handmade. Oh my gosh, how pretty, right? Got that stitching going down there. All right, now we can sandwich this all together. Let's grab the other piece. Where are you? This is my inside. Oh, I wanted to do a couple of stitches on this too. We're going to stitch right through this. Something smells seriously yummy. I don't know what he's making, but he wasn't acting alone. They said that they had people on video, 2 men and a woman. There's no way. I'll catch up with them. It's not that I don't believe you, Kelly, but no way. Seriously, like how last night they said that there were 3 other people working with them. Whoa, that was quick. I'm going to get on. I'll turn the TV on when I'm done because I am following what's going on here. Close. I'm going to be following it closely. Okay, I'm just doing a quick stitch. We're just doing a stitch here. This is all. We're not trying to reinvent anything. I'm just trying to tack these down. And I do sometimes like to, I'll do a straight stitch and then I'll do a zigzag because I like the look of variety. I'm going to stick with the zigzag and go down here. I'm going to go right off the edge because I have to do that one other side. Right here, just this one line right there. And I'm going to stick with the zigzag. I really, really like the look. of the zigzag. So let's get in here and do this one last row. And then I'm going to go sandwich them together and go all the way. What is this? I'm going to show you something, girls. Hopefully this doesn't mess up my machine. Look at that. Let it focus. Look at that wet glob of glue right there. I don't like when it shows through. I hope that dries completely clear. Otherwise, we'll have to do something. Okay, we have this. Let me get rid of the extra threads, first of all. Where are you coming from? Right there. You come from right there. Okay, this is my back. No, my inside. But I want this to the back. This is my outside. That is the back. Okay, so I got it. This is the top. This is going to go on the inside. Girls, did I do this wrong? No. Phew. I did do it wrong. No, I got to flip this way. So that that's the back. Yep. So that this is going to fold like this. Now, oh, I have that chipboard in there. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Forgot about the chipboard. Okay, we're going to sew these together, and you're going to, I'm going to try to sew as close to the edge as I can because I don't want this plastic stuff showing. So I'm going to try to sew this together as close to the edge as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do before I do a zigzag, I'm going to do a straight stitch, and I'm going to try to get these as tight as possible so that this plastic isn't hanging out. I have a little bit piece of plastic like out of place here. Let's cut that off because I don't want that sticking out. We're hiding the plastic on the inside. There we go. See that? We're going to go really tight to the edge. It is probably a really good idea to pin or clip this together so that here's your spot. So we're going to grab a couple of clips and we're going to do the clippy clip. Callie's working on a flow journal today. Let's see, what other comments did I miss? Oh, Linda's dyeing some seam binding. Yeah, Linda, I had to do that earlier. She said I just turned the TV off. We were watching it yesterday, and I said to my husband, this is not how I want to spend my new year. We watched it, and then you know how what they do it, like they give you everything that they know, and then they keep repeating it over and over again. Like they keep giving you the same report, but with different, they interview different people and all that jazz. I said to my husband, we know everything there is to know right now until they have some time to process this stuff. Let's just shut this off because I do not want to spend my new year. I feel so bad for the families that they don't get to say that if they lost a loved one. They don't get to say that, right? They're glued to the phone trying to get information or whatever on their way down. For the people who've been hospitalized, they're just suffering. I do feel awful for them. All right, so I'm trying to get this lined up so that when I start stitching, I don't love the way this looks. That's all right. Let's see. Right here, I'm not loving this. Just give me a second, girls. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. I've discovered it'll be all right. Okay, straight stitch. We're doing a straight stitch all the way as tight as we can to the end, the edge of this. No, I don't want to tack it with some glue. Do you want me to tack it with glue? Will it make you feel better? Oh, that's funny. I don't usually, but I will, Miss Thang. Miss Thang, I will, Miss Ruth. I'm avoiding the edges because I'm going to be sewing on the edges. And I don't want the glue to be mucking me up. Mucking up my machine, if you know what I mean. I just rhymed. I wasn't even trying. But I did it. All right, let's go like this now. I've got that chipboard in there. Oh, I went a little close to the edge there. I did not mean that. It's too late now. It's down. It's down. All right, let's do it. Let's do this thing. There we go. Here we go. Think. Let's go this way. Just because it's fun. Doink. All right. Here we go again with the machine. Straight stitch, real close to the edge. In fact, I may move my needle over, which I can do, I believe. Let's see. Let's get to a straight stitch. Let's see. There. And then maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this machine doesn't have that option. It's okay. We can make it work. We can do this, girls. We can. We can. We watched a movie last night that was so good. It was on Netflix. It's a new release on Netflix, and it's like the 6888. I think it's called the 6888, and you spell it out. It's not the numbers. You have to actually spell it out. Really good movie. It was really good. Everybody enjoyed it. I think Maddie and I enjoyed it more than the boys, but it's a kind of a feel-good movie. But historically, it's really fascinating. All right, I want to get even closer to the edge. Talking to myself here, but all right. I'm going to start real slow to get this set up. There we go. Didn't have to really work too hard at that. I'm trying to be as close to the edge as possible. I do have downstairs in my basement, I have an acrylic table that goes around your machine to hold your project up so that it's not hanging down like that. And right now I wish I had it because it helps to keep things even and straight. So what I'm doing is, I don't know if you noticed, but I have this arm just like this underneath, holding it, like kind of mimicking my acrylic table, because it doesn't pull on the project if it's up in the air, right? If you're letting the weight of this hang down, it's pulling on the fabric in the project, and it does make a difference when you're trying to be precise. Just FYI. I've got a little bit of where's my pokey tool? Got a little bit of a pucker happening here. We're gonna try to straighten that out. Whoops, come on now. I need to, every time I sew, I say, I need to find my seam binder. My little seam ripper. I really like using that tool, but I don't know where it is. I mean, I do know where it is. I just haven't dug it out. Okay, I missed a little spot right there, but it was because the fabric was uneven. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to keep going because I'm still going to go around with the zigzag. This one is really the utility stitch that's going to hold it together. Then I'm going to come around with a zigzag that will help hold it together, but is more for decorative purposes, truly. Come on. I think one more stitch. I think that's the last one. And then I'm going to flip it. I got stuff in the way. I got my glue's back in my box here. It's not in the way of my project. Were they pilots? No, Lisa. These women who were in this, what did I call it? I think it's called the 3888. 6888? 3888. It's just good. When you go into Netflix, it appears immediately as a newly released. You can't miss it. Truly, you can't miss it. But anyway, no, it's a women's, black women's what do you call it? Unit. I think I'm not a military person personally. My brother, my cousin, my dad were all military, or my niece, but not me. But I think the language is their unit was all women and all black. And this was in the 40s during World War II. And they were underestimated. They were given a hard time. You know, they were discriminated against. They had everything going against them, and they were hugely successful. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. Such a good story, and it's based on a true story. It's like the real deal. These women, and they do a beautiful tribute to them at the end. Okay, I'm coming to the point where I have my chipboard, and I don't want my needle to hit the chipboard. So focusing here. Focusing, Grace. Focus. We do not want to hit the chipboard. We did it. We did it. Whee! See how slow I'm going? It's just to tack things down, friends. It's just to tack it down. I'm not loving the way this is looking, so we might have to make some adjustments. Guys, I didn't tell you the story about shopping in Destin. When we were on vacation, my boys decided to do a fishing trip. You know how you hire a guide and they take you out fishing in the bay? So they decided to do that one day. The weather was really bad. It wasn't beach. I mean, we went north and we knew it was going to be cooler, but it was rainy and windy. Beyond being cooler, it was rainy and windy. So it really, really wasn't beach. You're not going to just sit on the beach. But they decided they wanted to go on this fish thing. So we called some guy. He was available. And we decided we'd, treat boys to this as one of our vacation excursions. And part of their fishing, the guy said, go get polarized sunglasses. Well, the kids didn't have that. So there was this store. Anybody from Florida? Anybody here from Florida? There's a store called the Surf Shop, I think, or the Surf something or other. The Gulf Surf, something like that. Surf Gulf, I don't know. I should just forget it. I want to just forget it. It was a bad experience. Anyway, it's like right on the corner of like where there's one on every 4 blocks. I mean, there's so many of them, it's not even funny. But they have this huge thing on the side of the building, that huge, like the size of the building, saying 75% off. Demolition sale, because they were building a bridge right in front of it, and so like all of the sidewalks were chewed up, everything was chewed up. Demolition sale, everything must go 75% off. So we go in there. I'm like, let's go in there. I'm sure it's a surf shop. I'm sure they have sunglasses. So we go in there. Place is gorgeous, immaculately clean, and full of merchandise. And I was like, wow, this must be a new sale. Like, let's get in here and see if they have these glasses. So the boys go off. They start looking for glasses. I said to Chris, I'm going to pick up a t-shirt or a hoodie or something. So I'm going to look at the clothes. So I start looking at the clothes, and I pick something out and put it in my cart or my basket. And then Chris comes up to me and he says, Grace, he said, none of the prices are marked down, 75% off. I said, oh, I'm assuming it says demolition, everything must go. I'm assuming everything in the store is 75% off. He said, yeah, but they're not marked down that way. And I said, well, I'm just kind of doing the math in my head. And he says, well, I don't know. I said, I'll go up and ask. So there are 2 teenagers working. And I go and I say to the kids, is this the price that is 75% off, or do you take it off at the register? And he said, oh. And the kid says to me, he was so cute. He says, I think it's a total fraud. Everything is not 75% off. That is the actual price of that item. The only things that are 75% off are on those 3 racks in the back. Those, and I'm like, where? The store was enormous. He's like, way in the back on the right. So I go. He's like, there's a couple others in different departments, but no, it's just the racks that have this sign on it. I was like, oh, that's kind of. He said, I know, it's like a fraud, right? They tell you everything's on sale, everything must go. But really, these are the only things that are 75% off. And of course, it's like, they have 1 extra small left of that, and that's why it's 75% off. It's nothing, it's not like the whole store, right? So I'm like, oh, I better start. Let the kids pick out their sunglasses. Because the sunglasses were like $20, $25. Like, not anything too horrible. And I said, I had already picked out 3 shirts. I was like, the shirts say buy 2, get 1 off, or if you spend $100, you get $20 off. So I said, I already picked out 2 things and I really want them. I said, I'm going to let Gannon pick out another thing. With the 3 shirts and the 2 sunglasses, it'll definitely be over $100. So we should get $20 off. So we agree to that that's what we're going to do. So I go through the register and they're like, your total is $170. I'm like, $170? I'm like, okay. And the guy says, your $20, you did get your $20 off. And it shows right here, $20 off. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I can see it on the screen. Yeah, it's showing $20 off. Okay, I'm done all the way around once with 1 flat stitch. I want to look at this because I'm not loving the way all of it's looking. So let me just take a peek at this before I go and do the zigzag and see if I want to make any changes. But let me finish telling you the story. So I picked out a couple of really cute hoodie and a t-shirt, and Gannon picked something out. That was going to be the buy 3, get 1, or the $20 off. The guy says we got the $20 off because we spent more than $100. He shows me the total. And in my head, I'm thinking about, because I always do the math as I'm going. I'm thinking it was supposed to be closer to like $150 or $60. He's telling me it was like almost $180. So just say 180. But he showed me the $20 off, so the math has to be right. So we get into the car, and I have this like funny face on my, I have this funny look on my face, and Chris is like, what's the matter? I said, I think they overcharged me. And he starts driving away, and I pulled out my calculator on my phone, and I add up all the items on the thing. All of the items on the thing come out to $140. And I'm like, that's what it's supposed to be. But so you guys, this has never happened to me before. It was bizarre. So these numbers aren't going to add up, but it was like $22, $33, $22, $18, $70, right? So all of this stuff, we had like 6 items. At the end, in my mind, it was about $140. On the ticket, it showed $160. Then he's like, yep, and there you got your 20% off. So your total is $140. I'm like, that can't be right, because this stuff doesn't add to 160. But it's actually 180. Doesn't matter. But the point is, this stuff, I knew that this stuff did not equal this amount. It was 20. I knew. I'm like, this is too much. He said, yeah, but you got your $20 off, and that's your real amount. I'm like, no. Nope, that's not right. That can't be right. So I go into the car, and while Chris is driving, I add all these things up, and all of those things did not equal 160. They equaled 140. So my subtotal, all of this stuff was itemized correctly. My subtotal, they had tacked on $20 to the subtotal. It didn't show on the receipt at all, but this total was $20 more than what all this stuff added up to. And then they took the $20 off. And so I was paying 140. I'm like, but the total was supposed to be 140, and then I was supposed to get $20 off, so it'd be 120. So we did the math. I did the math. I handed it to Gannon in the back seat. I'm like, Gannon, I added it all up twice, and this number is showing $20 more. You do it, because I must be doing something wrong. He does it. He gets the same thing. No, Mom, these things add up to 140, not 160. And I think my numbers are a little off, but you get the point. And he kept saying, but you got your $20 off down here. I said, I know that. But so then Landon checks it 3 times. He's like, no, Mom, you are absolutely right. All of the 6 items are supposed to be 140. They charged you 160. The subtotal showed an automatic $20 increase. Then they took the 20 off. So I'm still paying 160. I didn't get the $20 off. So I bring it back in. I'm like, I'm not paying that. I'm like, that is such a crock of shit. I was so mad. I'm like, that is total fraud. I said, bring it back. Let's turn around, Chris. So Chris turns around, and I said, I'm going to go back in. Now, these are 2 teenage kids. I said, I know it's not their fault. All they did was run it all through the machine. This is what the machine comes up with. And to them, they're seeing the $20 off. So it makes sense to them. I know they're not to blame. So I said that to the kids. I come in and I said, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I said, but I don't think I got charged correctly. We explained it to them. They were very confused. And they kept saying, but you got your $20 off. I said, add all of those things up. They did. And they're like, that's weird that it comes to 140. I said, I know, but it's showing a subtotal of 160. So I said, there is something wrong on the back end of your machine. I said, we will take the glasses. Can you please just refund all of the clothing? So I took the glasses. It was almost $50 for the 2 pairs of glasses. Well, after tax and all that. I said, but I'll be happy with that. I'm not mad at you because I know you didn't do it, but obviously you want to take this up with your management because they're kind of lying to people. They were like, I can't believe this happened. Anyway, that's what happened to us at the store. It was a total crock of SHIT. I've never had that happen to me before. But then Gannon, Gannon stayed in the car with Chris, and Landon and I went in to get the refund on the clothing and to tell them what happened. So when we came back to the car, Gannon said, I looked this place up, Mom, on Google and Yelp, and all of the like almost all of the comments and the reviews are that people were frauded and charged too much. Can you believe that, you guys? Bye, Lynn. Have a beautiful day. Okay. I wanted to look at this. This is the inside. The outside is fantastic and perfect, and I love it. The inside, I'm not loving the way that this turned out, but I see how the paper is showing a little bit right there. So I have a couple of options. Here, my stitch line is right here, and I have a little bit of paper showing. So I'm gonna trim that down right there. And I'm going to go around and trim down any of the stuff I don't like. And then I'm going to go back and do my zigzag stitch. So I'm going to trim this right here. Because we have raw edges of fabric. I think what will happen is my fabric will fray up again. So I guess, I won't worry about that. But I wanted to cut off that bit of paper that was showing. Just a little more right here. And then I'm going to come in and do a zigzag. And you don't, maybe I'll hang it up before that so you don't have to watch me do the zigzag. It's just more sewing. This one, do I want to trim any of this? Maybe I'm going to peel this back. Just trim this bit right here. Can you believe that, you guys? The surf shop, I think it was. It's all over the Emerald Coast of Florida. We stayed in like Destin, Fort Walton Beach. They're like, oh my God, we counted, we probably saw 8 of these stores. They're huge. They're gorgeous stores. They're enormous. And they're like on every 4 blocks. They're everywhere. And across the street from them, we assume it's the same company because the building looks exactly the same, but across the street from it, there was this, I think it was called the Surf Shop. And then on the other side of the street, there was Alvin's on the other corner, and the buildings look exactly the same. And they also had a 75% off sale. So I'm like, this must be the same management group or owner who owns all of these stores, the Alvin's, and I think it was the Surf Shop. But if you live in Florida, I could not believe it. I was like, they totally overcharged us. So anyway, I wouldn't shop there again. And we did. There was a girl sitting next to me on the plane who had one of their hoodies on. It was really cute hoodie. Had the name of the company on there. But I was like, nope, we'll never shop there again. Total crooks. All right. Oh my gosh, I love this cover. Just envision we got this. I think this is going to be my opener. So it's going to look like this when you open it. Right? And then here's signature 1, here's signature 2, and that'll be the back. I think I'm going to put a piece of lace here actually to make a little tuck spot. That'll make that awfully pretty, right? I could even use this same lace. Let's do it. Let's do it. We got this. I think I'm going to glue this down, and actually I'll glue it this way. And that will become a little pocket right there, a little tuck spot. I think that's what I want to do. Could make it a belly band. What do you want to do, Gracie? Make a decision. A pocket, it's just a little too short in my opinion. So let's go tuck spot. We're going to glue it right here. I'm going to cut this just shy. I'll glue this down later because I'm going to glue it and then it's just going to have to sit because it's going to be really wet. I'll use the Beacon 3-in-1 and I'm going to put a lot of glue on these 3 edges and glue that down like a little tuck spot. Before I do that, I'm going to zigzag all the way around so I get some pretty zigzag stitch here. So then this cover, get these like these like crazy leftover strings cut away or pulled off of here. I won't make you sit and watch me zigzag, but I'm loving this so much. Right, Linda? Report it to the Better Business Bureau. Exactly. I mean, just don't shop there, girls. Don't shop there. It was the craziest thing. I've never had that happen to me before. I've had like, okay, I didn't get the sale I was supposed to, but I've never had a blatant addition, like added $20 to my subtotal. Crazy. All right, girls. Thanks for joining me for this cover. We made really good progress. This is going to be a beautiful book. I'm really excited about it. Where's my little, there's my little piece of chipboard. So I'm going to end up cutting or poking holes to put this on either side. So it will end up looking like that. And I think I may actually, when I sew all the way around, I think I will sew on the inside like this. I'm going to sew on, no, you know what I'll do? I'm going to do something with a tie. I'll do something with the tie there. This is going to be a fabulous book. I have to decide, do I want to sew it in place? Or I think what I'll do is put a big brad here and tie them on. That's what I'm going to do. But I got to get my stitches done first. Anyway, we've been here for a while. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'm going to go make some coffee and do a little work, on my own. But thank you for being here. It's been 2 hours. I can't believe that much time went by. You guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Thanks for listening to me, Gab. Thanks for joining me and keeping me company. Happy New Year, all you crafty chicks. I appreciate you all. Bye.